You want to create a successful e-commerce start? Trust me, follow these steps. Hello everyone, it's Thomas from VD Market, and today we are going to discuss what are those things that is important when we are developing a new e-commerce site. Usually experiences can be very different based on the project size, project budget, but here we are going to discuss what actually matter right at the start of the project. Because usually people sometimes focus on the wrong things, they spend time on the things that actually won't matter at the start. Because it's important to understand that right now I'm speaking about the beginning of the development phase. And if you are now in the phase when you are starting to create a new e-commerce site or you're already in the process of it, we will discuss 5 points that you should focus on when you are developing a new e-commerce site. So the first thing is that sometimes you have to sacrifice a few features so you can develop your e-commerce store faster, or even sometimes you have to sacrifice a few features for you to choose a better e-commerce platform, which will of course make you more economical way possible, because usually at the start of every e-commerce business you want to spend as less money as possible because you don't have any income. So a big mistake is that businesses have like this list of features which they don't even know will work, and they have like at the same time pretty big estimates for these type of projects, and they develop more expensive e-commerce store even without any revenue or knowledge if those features even will work. So remember, the first thing is always sacrifice some features so you can launch your e-commerce store faster and spend less money than you should actually spend. If we talk about what features are we talking about, those things can be anything based on like integrations, some marketing tools, some very specific features. For example, like 3D modeling, augmented reality, artificial intelligence. Those things are great, but remember at the start you only want to test your product out, and only then if you see there's a potential, then you invest more money into it. So the more tasks you have, the longer the period of development is, and you have to wait much longer just to start selling. Second thing, template first, individual comes after. So what does this mean? E-commerce stores who doesn't have any revenue, then don't have any sales, they want the best at the beginning, which is basically not the correct way to start it. If we want to test something, we want to create an e-commerce store based on a template. If we use Shopify or WooCommerce, there are a lot of beautiful templates you can use, and they're already adjusted for like normal e-commerce standards. And when you develop this template e-commerce site, you can make individual adjustments based on the things you saw in the data. Of course, there are sometimes some individual and niched industries where you can't find any of the template. I'm not talking about those, but when we are speaking about clothing, cosmetics, health and beauty, furniture, and those like global industries, there's always good templates, and they're always adjusted to the e-commerce standards. Don't make your process more expensive, make it more effective. Develop from the template because it will be much cheaper to develop, and then based on data you can make adjustments with the Google Analytics, Microsoft Clarity, or inbuilt Shopify Analytics or WooCommerce Analytics or any other e-commerce platform. You can always make adjustments later, not at the start, because first you just want to test product, you want to see how it will go, and if you see there are some things that are not working, then you make the individual adjustments on top of it. The third thing, high quality images over high quality details. So if we speak about this point, it's very important to understand that 70 to 80% of the e-commerce site includes images. So when the customer opens site, first impression matters, and even when he scrolls the site, he usually sees those images like the hero sections, the banners, category images, product images, those things that will make the first impression. They won't check if the corner radius is the right way or the spacings or alignments in the right way. First of all, they just want to see the product, they want to see everything really clearly. I'm not saying that those small features doesn't matter, but those features are usually developed later when we already have some income, some revenue, and that is called conversion rate optimization, when we focus on those small things like typography, the colors of the button. All those things are usually developed later. Do not spend time on those small design features, spend time on high quality images, because those are the things that customer will see. Those are the things that will help customer make the decision if they want it or not, and those things will actually answer clients' question about their sacrifices, their doubts, questions. So remember, focus more on high quality images rather than small design changes. Fourth thing, get an e-commerce agency, not a development agency. So to understand this point, at first we have to understand what is the difference between the development agency and an e-commerce agency. The development agency is a company who does all the development. Doesn't matter if it's the website or e-commerce store or system, ERP, CRM, mobile app, they just do everything, right? And the problem with this type of company is that they will just do what you ask. They won't make the best solution for you in this specific stage you are right now in the business. They will just provide you a quote for a certain task and just do it. Doesn't matter if the things that you are asking are necessary or not. And on the other hand, there's an e-commerce agency which basically focus only on e-commerce. What they do is sleep, breathe, eat e-commerce. They don't have different type of projects, so their focus is only on e-commerce. And I believe when you are starting your e-commerce store, probably you don't have in your staff head of e-commerce who is experienced in e-commerce for many years and already know how to analyze data, which things works, which do not. An e-commerce store will help you achieve best results. Why? Because when you are working with development agency, you're just throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping something will stick. But when you work with the e-commerce agency, they will give you a precise target where you need to shoot. And why is it important to you as an e-commerce site? Because to get that information, it costs a lot of money burnt on ads, or sometimes they don't even figure out why some things are not working. But when you got this information, you already can scale the best practices and get the best result. Because when you're developing an e-commerce site, you're not developing a product, you're creating a sales machine which is created to automate your sales processes. So work with e-commerce agency, not a development agency. And the fifth thing, it's pretty simple, don't overcomplicate it. E-commerce store is actually a pretty simple process to develop, but a lot of people just like to overcomplicate it. There's a lot of nice templates which already work. We have some clients on Shopify who has free Shopify theme, which visually is not the prettiest one, and their revenue monthly is like 1 to 5 million per month. And when there are other companies who spend a lot of budget, a lot of time, a lot of resources creating those designs and features, and they can't really go further than 10K or 15 or 30K a month, and that's it. So don't overcomplicate it, make the simple stuff at the start, and based on data, improve it. That's how e-commerce works. So those were the 5 things you should consider when developing an e-commerce site. And remember, if you need help with e-commerce site development, or you already have existing e-commerce site and you need help, you're stuck in some revenue, or you don't know the best ways to develop it or improve it, there's a Calendly link in the description. You can book a call and we can discuss how we can scale your e-commerce business.